Essentially, we're exploring for nickel, mainly in Western Australia and the Northern Territory, but also in Tasmania, where we've got a more advanced project that's going into production over the next 2 years, but we've also got exploration upside potential there as well. We're planning to go into production from the Barnes Hill project by the end of 2012. We're looking to produce about 2,000 to 2,500 tonnes of nickel metal in our first year, then moving to about 4,000 tonnes over the course of the first 2 to 3 years. So that should produce pretty good cash flow for us, because the project's ideally located near the deep water port of Bell Bay, just 15 kilometres away. We're very close to power facilities as well, and also there's a seal road just 200 metres away, the town of Beaconsfield about 2 or 3 kilometres away. So we're very close to port power and people, which is critical, which makes it ideal for us to go into production ourselves and become a long-term producer. Look, essentially we've recently listed on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange and done a placement to Swiss and German investors. We're very pleased with that. We're trading well on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, and I think that market has responded particularly well to our recent news, which has been project acquisitions in Western Australia for nickel sulfide and copper sulfide exploration. Also, we've recently come out with our independent resource on the Barnes Hill project in Tasmania that Snowden's did, showing quite a long mine life. Essentially over the next 2 months is to focus on the Barnes Hill project, getting the mining licence granted, getting the development application lodged with the Tasmanian government. From there, we've got to do our pilot bulk sampling test. That'll occur in January, February next year, and then we'll complete the feasibility study with our joint venture partner, Metals Finance Corporation, by the middle of next year. Then on the exploration side, we're doing some airborne surveying over the next 4 weeks, and that'll give us information that we can review and research before doing another drill program in the Northern Territory later next year, and Clara Hills in Western Australia, which we believe is a panoramic style mineralisation. We've done an airborne survey there, so we're just researching that before going in and doing some groundwork, some soil sampling before doing some drilling early next year. Look, our long-term goals are essentially to become a nickel producer from Tasmania, but a nickel producer more widely. We're hoping to have nickel sulfide exploration success. So we're looking to obviously have success and get nickel production from those assets. We have a nickel technology business as well, which we own just over half of. We believe is one of the best ways of processing nickel laterite. Nickel laterite produces half of the world's nickel metal, and it's over 75% of known resources, so we think the nickel laterite market's one well worth positioning ourselves in right now for the future, because it is the future of nickel supply, as well as being a very large part of nickel supply already. So we're looking to sell our nickel technology to other companies. We're looking to produce our own nickel metal, find and keep exploring for nickel, but also more and more diversify from what is already a very full nickel division into other metals such as copper and precious metals. And to do that, we're looking at panoramic style mineralisation like the Clara Hills project in Western Australia. We're looking at our Norilsk style mineralisation targets in the Northern Territory, Waterloo, Lindeman's Bore and Wave Hill. So essentially we're looking to become a significant nickel producer, but then also to diversify into other metals so that we're not just tied to the nickel price. We want the polymetallic risk mitigation of being in other metals, but that also gives us leverage to the upside when metal prices are good. Nickel is the main component, or the important component, of stainless steel. 2/3 of the world's nickel goes into stainless steel, and also other hardened steel products for pipelines, infrastructure, buildings, bridges, so on and so forth. So wherever you need to have a steel that's particularly tough and hard, you need nickel, because nickel is particularly hard and particularly non-corrosive. It's used a lot for kitchenware domestically, But it's used for, as I say, bridges, load-bearing steel joints in buildings, pipes, so on and so forth. It's also used for electroplating, coins, batteries. It's got a great number of uses, and we believe that it's a very special metal that has a strong future as the world demands better quality and more complex products that require the special properties of nickel. So we believe it's got a great future, and it's certainly trading very well at the moment, about 23,000 US a ton. Look, essentially the most modern technique that we're using is probably the ZTEM airborne surveying, which essentially measures the electromagnetic field generated by lightning strikes running through the Earth's surface and subsurface. That's the most modern. It's only been used in Australia for about 18 months now, and we're running that first survey over the next month in the Northern Territory. Apart from that, we're about to employ some more high technology geochemistry for the Clara Hills project in WA, that's in the West Kimberley. But apart from that, it's really the ZTEM that is the latest bit of technology that we're using. We're creating our own processing technology. That's very much new technology that only we are using for processing nickel laterite. But certainly high technology does form an important part of what we're doing in nickel exploration and nickel processing.